Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 5, Book 59, number 345. Narrated by Abu Masud al-Badri. Allah's Apostle said, "It is sufficient for one to recite the last two verses of Surah al-Baqarah at night." Volume 5, Book 59, number 346. Narrated by Mahmud bin Arabi. That Itban bin Malik, who was one of the companions of the Prophet and one of the warriors of Badr, came to Allah's Apostle. Volume 5, Book 59, number 347. Narrated by Ibn Shihab. I asked Al-Hussein bin Muhammad, who was one of the sons of Salim and one of the nobles amongst them, about the narration of Mahmud bin Arabi, from Itban bin Malik, and he confirmed it. Volume 5, Book 59, number 348. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin Rabi'a, who was one of the leaders of Bani Adi, and his father participated in the Battle of Badr in the company of the Prophet. Umar appointed Qudama bin Mazin as ruler of Bahrain. Qudama was one of the warriors of the Battle of Badr and was the maternal uncle of Abdullah bin Umar and Hafsa. Volume 5, Book 59, number 349. Narrated by Az Zuri. Salim bin Abdullah told me that Rafi bin Khadij told Abdullah bin Umar that his two paternal uncles who had fought in the Battle of Badr informed him that Allah's Apostle forbade the renting of fields. I said to Salim, "Do you rent your land?" He said, "Yes, for Rafi is mistaken." Volume 5, Book 59, number 350. Narrated by Abdullah bin Shaddad bin al-Had al-Laythi. I saw Rifa bin Rafi al-Ansari, who was a Badr warrior. Volume 5, Book 59, number 351. Narrated by al-Miswar bin Makrama. That Amr bin Auf, who was an ally of Bani Amir bin Lu'ay and one of those who fought at Badr in the company of the Prophet, said, Allah's Apostle sent Abu Ubaidah bin al-Jarrah to Bahrain to bring the jizya taxation from its people, for Allah's Apostle had made a peace treaty with the people of Bahrain and appointed al-Ala bin al-Hadrami as their ruler. So, Abu Ubaidah arrived with the money from Bahrain. When the Ansar heard of the arrival of Abu Ubaidah, on the next day, they offered the morning prayer with the Prophet, and when the morning prayer had finished, they presented themselves before him. On seeing the Ansar, Allah's Apostle smiled and said, "I think you have heard that Abu Ubaidah has brought something." They replied, "Indeed, it is so, O Allah's Apostle." He said, "Be happy, and hope for what will please you. By Allah, I am not afraid that you will be poor, but I fear that worldly wealth will be bestowed upon you as it was bestowed upon those who lived before you. So you will compete amongst yourselves for it, as they competed for it, and it will destroy you as it did them." Volume 5, Book 59, number 352. Narrated by Nafi. Ibn Umar used to kill all kinds of snakes until Abu Lubaba al-Badri told him that the Prophet had forbidden the killing of harmless snakes living in houses and called jinan. So Ibn Umar gave up killing them. Volume 5, Book 59, number 353. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Some men of the Ansar requested Allah's Apostle to allow him to see him. They said, "Allow us to forgive the ransom of our sister's son, Abbas." The Prophet said, "By Allah, you will not leave a single dirham of it." Volume 5, Book 59, number 354. Narrated by Ubaidullah bin Adi bin al-Qiyah. That al-Miqdad bin Amr al-Kindi, who was an ally of Bani Zura and one of those who fought the Battle of Badr together with Allah's Apostle, told him that he said to Allah's Apostle, "Suppose I met one of the infidels and we fought, and he struck one of my hands with his sword and cut it off, and then took refuge in a tree and said, I surrender to Allah, i.e. I have become a Muslim, could I kill him? O Allah's Apostle, after he had said this, Allah's Apostle said, you should not kill him. Al-Miqdad said, O Allah's Apostle, but he had cut off one of my 2 hands, and then he had uttered those words. Allah's Apostle replied, you should not kill him, for if you kill him, he would be in your position where you had been before killing him, and you would be in his position where he had been before uttering those words. Volume 5, Book 59, number 355. Narrated by Anas. Allah's Apostle said on the day of Badr, who will go and see what has happened to Abu Jahl? Ibn Mas'ud went and saw him struck by the 2 sons of Afra and was on the point of death. Ibn Mas'ud said, are you Abu Jahl? Abu Jahl replied, can there be a man more superior to the one whom you have killed, or as Suleiman said, or his own folk have killed? Abu Jahl added, would that I had been killed by other than a mere farmer. Volume 5, Book 59, number 356. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Umar said, when the Prophet died I said to Abu Bakr, let us go to our Ansari brethren. We met 2 pious men from him, who had fought in the battle of Badr. When I mentioned this to Urwa bin Az Zubair, he said, those 2 pious men were Uwaym bin Sa'idah and Man bin Adi. Volume 5, Book 59, number 357. Narrated by K. The Badr warriors were given 5,000 dirhams each, yearly. Umar said, I will surely give them more than what I will give to others. Volume 5, Book 59, number 358. Narrated by Jubair bin Mut'im. I heard the Prophet reciting Surah in Maghrib prayer, and that was at a time when belief was first planted in my heart. The Prophet, while speaking about the war prisoners of Badr, said, were al-Mutam bin Adi alive and interceded with me for these filthy people, I would definitely forgive them for his sake. Narrated said bin al-Musayyab, when the first civil strife, in Islam, took place because of the murder of Uthman, it left none of the Badr warriors alive. When the second civil strife, that is the Battle of Al-Harra, took place, it left none of the Hudaybiyah treaty companions alive. Then the third civil strife took place and it did not subside till it had exhausted all the strength of the people. Volume 5, Book 59, number 359. Narrated by Yunus bin Yazid. I heard Az Zuri saying, I heard Urwa bin Az Zubair. Said bin al-Musayyab, Alqama bin Waqas and Ubaydullah bin Abdullah, each narrating part of the narrative concerning Aisha, the wife of the Prophet. Aisha said, when I and Mr. were returning, Mr. stumbled by treading on the end of her robe, and on that she said, may Mr. be ruined. I said, you have said a bad thing, you curse a man who took part in the Battle of Badr. Az Zuri then narrated the narration of the lie forged against Aisha. Volume 5, Book 59, number 360. Narrated by Ibn Shihab. These were the battles of Allah's Apostle, which he fought, and while mentioning the Badr battle, he said, while the corpses of the pagans were being thrown into the well, Allah's Apostle said to them, have you found what your Lord promised true? Abdullah said, some of the Prophet's companions said, O Allah's Apostle, you are addressing dead people. Allah's Apostle replied, you do not hear what I am saying, better than they. The total number of Muslim fighters from Quraysh who fought in the Battle of Badr and were given their share of the booty, were 81 men. Az Zubair said, when their shares were distributed, their number was 101 men. But Allah knows it better. Volume 5, Book 59, number 361. Narrated by Az Zubair. On the day of Badr, Qurayshi emigrants received 100 shares of the war booty.